Good morning, one. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing
Good
great. How about
morning, Norm. Let
yourself?
me just make sure it's not on my end.
Can you
Norm.
guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear
Or
you
is it
good.
me?
No, it's me.
Okay, good deal.
All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having a great morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Norm, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great, Carlos. Doing well this morning. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Excellent, guys. So let's get right to it, guys. Here's our watch list from yesterday. So we'll go over the top highlights and plays from yesterday off our list. Then we'll go into our Nasdaq active. We see some ones that already have been pretty active the last couple of days. OSTK and Snap have been there quite a bit. And then we'll get into our Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers. We'll go over the top 10, see what's going on here. We'll see what Norman likes this morning out of his top 4. And then we'll check on both chats what you guys have that looks interesting that we have not already looked into into our list over here. So let's start with what we had yesterday. So we had X on here. So let's start with X. Let's get our 5-minute. Let's get our 1 minute. These are the two charts that I use, the 5 and the 1. A lot of people have also switched the 1 or added the 2-minute charts. That's also another way to kind of filter out some of the noise, right? The 1 minute sometimes could be a little noisy here and could give you some false signals. So you got to understand that the 1 minute sometimes is has sometimes not the cleanest possible candle. So you got to be aware of that. Look at a bigger time frame, a 5, a 2, and so forth. So on the 1 minute, X was pretty clean yesterday. Look at this beautiful opening range on the 5. Even the 1 gave you some nice opening range too. If you're looking for that 2-minute opening range breakout, you also got a beautiful 2-minute opening range breakout here as well. Look at this beautiful pop, a nice pullback towards the VWAP, and then a beautiful shooting a beautiful pop towards the high of the day. As you can see here, this would have been an amazing entry off the moving averages for opening range as well. As you can see here, it kind of chopped around, took a very long time, was having a very tough time getting above this level we had here. Chopped around for about 20-30 minutes until it finally came back down, retested the moving average in the VWAP, and then gave you a nice move all the way to these moving averages heading towards that $11 mark. So again, X was a good opening range breakup. Took a while to get going. Definitely was testing everyone's patience in this area here, as it had a hard time getting above that 1075 or so. OSTK, guys, was extremely choppy. This is one of those stocks that had, again, beautiful pre-market action, a lot of volume. But then look at this nasty candle at the open on the 5. You can see you get a nice pop-up over here. This candle goes all the way up to, what's this, 1450. And then look at this huge drop right back down to 13. So again, you got to be very careful when you're trading this stock. It can move very wild. And this is what me and Norm have been advising you guys. With this one here, you have to treat it not like a low flow, but you have to have that type of risk management when it comes to this one. Then from there, just kind of sold off. I know a lot of people, myself, did not have shares for sure on this one. You can see it just kind of followed this moving average. It kept selling down all the way down to 1280 or so. Roku, guys, was pretty active as well. Look at this beautiful engulfing crack here. You have a pop that comes right back down. It cannot sell off any further. And then on this beautiful candle here, this is what we call a bullish engulfing crack. What that means is after your opening range, the next candle completely engulfs the body of the previous candle, and then you get a shot up. This is usually a good indication of a reversal in direction. So here, that would have been your entry anywhere around here. You could have waited for the pullback on the next candle as well. That's another way to trade this strategy. And here you can see you get a beautiful pop all the way up to 112. So again, Roku has been very interesting. Another one that I'm going to have on my watch list today already has a lot of volume, 216,000 shares traded. This is one that's been getting a lot of buzz with all the news. I mean, I can't believe we're down to 109, guys. I mean, we're trading this at 150-ish. I mean, it's just insane. So here's Roku acted real nice. After this pop here, it sold off. It could not hold and establish a trend above the VWAP. Becomes a beautiful loss of VWAP here down towards the lows of the day. And then again, just here it starts getting a little choppy now. As you can see, it just starts kind of hanging around the VWAP, not really having any direction on where to go here. MNK was disappointing a bit. No, we were waiting for this one to actually do something a lot better because it was so nice to us last time. But again, no entry.
Garbage.
Yeah, it was pure garbage. No entry here. It kind of gave you a nice little opening range here. But again, it just had no volume. Just didn't look clean at all. And then from there, it just sold off and just became nasty to trade. Look at the 1 minute too. Look how nasty these candles are. Nothing beautiful about this at all. CHWY, this was also nasty as well on the 1 minute. The 5 minute looks clean now, guys. But if you looked at the action on this one, it was not great at all. Barely any volume at the open. Finally, this pop came literally out of nowhere. There's no way for you to time this and get into this trade. Just no signals here before this pop, right? So again, don't look at this and say, oh, that was a great move. A great move is one that you can identify before it's about to happen, where you can get a good signal. Those are great moves. Something just comes out of nowhere and shoots up $2, $3, $4. It's not tradable, so you can identify. You really can act on it. So again,
we talked about this when it was happening on the 5-minute, forming the pennant from 9:30 till about 10 o'clock. And I'd mentioned it a couple of times. When this breaks, and it looked like it overall, It seemed like it was hanging above VWAP to me. So it kind of made me think that it wanted to break to the upside. I didn't take this trade, but I saw it happening, and I mentioned, once this breaks, I think it'll move up. And it did, but it still only moved like 40 cents.
Yes, I remember when you called this out because I was having my eye on it, but it was just taking forever, and it was a very slow move as well. And you just didn't get that pop. The volume didn't come in. But again, you're right. It did look like it wanted to head higher. Eventually, it did. It goes back up to the high of the day, but it's just, again, just had no juice really. We had Teva as a possible, but Teva didn't really do much, guys. It started selling off around this area here. Once it lost 728, but by the time I saw it was too late to get a good trade. Didn't pull back to VWAP, and then from there it's just kept selling down. But it did get slightly active around that area. How come I don't have my blue line here? I'm gonna have to fix that. All right, so AVDL, also one that was again, this one was, you gotta be very careful. This was the low flow of the day yesterday. It had a nice pop right off the bat, so you can see right on here. A couple of consolidation candles here on the one, then out of nowhere you get this huge pop all the way up to 550, 537. But then again, guys, look how it just starts selling down here. This is where you don't want to be going into these type of stocks after such a big move like this. The fun is over, and you never know when it's going to continue and when it's going to start dropping. So I remember watching this very clearly as it was very active, and then out of nowhere you get boom, here's the drop, right? So anybody getting in here that missed the boat, having that fear of missing out, immediately gets dropped on about 30-40 cents in a matter of seconds. So again, you want to be very, very careful. PSTV, I didn't actually really watch this one. I had it on here, but again, just didn't know how the action was on this one. So not sure what came out of that. Guys, so that is what we had yesterday. I'm going to keep a few on here that I like already this morning. So I'm going to keep X is interesting. I was looking at X a little earlier, so I'm definitely going to keep that one on here. OSTK also is very active this morning already, 400 and something thousand shares traded, so we'll keep that on there. And then obviously Roku we're definitely going to keep, because it's just been really incredible to watch. Again, this thing as high as what was this high of 176, now trading at 109. We might be getting some kind of continuation play today with all this type of range that Roku has. Let's get into the SPY, Norm. What do we have for today?
It's a little bit better than yesterday. I wouldn't call it a lot better, but we're up just right at 0.4% right now. Volume's pretty light. Today we have a couple of pieces of economic data coming out. At 9 a.m. we've got the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, but at 10 a.m. Eastern, we've got September consumer confidence, which is a pretty important number. Consumer drives 2/3 of the U.S. economy. Business spending has kind of been down recently, and the consumer's been keeping everything afloat. So looking to see if that holds, could cause a little bit of volatility, something to trade off of when that comes out at 10 a.m. Across the world, markets are generally slightly up. European markets are flat to slightly up. The exception of that's the FTSE, but there's some issues over there with Brexit and the Prime Minister going on, and then Asian markets were predominantly up just slightly. So kind of the same story we had yesterday. Hopefully break out of this kind of slow, low volume doldrums. As we discussed yesterday in the room, it was kind of just, there were a couple of moves, but unless you caught, what was it, Roku, or what was the other one yesterday? X made a move, but I mean, it was not a super exciting trading day. So if this is the time, it calls for patience, wait for moves, keep an eye on scanners. If you're not, don't force trades, don't try to jump in something just to make a trade. Something will happen at some point during the day. Somebody will get news, something will happen. So
Yeah, absolutely. Control that fear of missing out. There's always something that will happen later on in the day. If not tomorrow, the market's not going anywhere, guys. So we can come back tomorrow, the following day, and get some opportunities. All right, let's get into our gappers list right over here. So we have OSTK already. Let's start with that one since this is the first one on the list. So again, it has been very active. Let's look at this daily chart. The last couple of days has been selling down after having a nice run all the way up to 30. Now we're back down towards that $12 range. Yesterday traded okay, not as clean. Did have a red day, sold off for the most part. Today we're getting a bit of a bounce back with some good volume, 478,000 shares traded. Not the cleanest pre-market activity, guys, right now. Again, you do have a pop here, you have some candles, but again, on this 5-minute, we're not looking all that clean on just yet. So we'll keep an eye on it. It is up 8.4, so we'll see what kind of continuation play we get out of this one. We did hit some support yesterday, prior support and resistance right on here. You can see this beautiful, that's too big. This beautiful resistance and support. You can see the breakout out of the resistance, comes back, that tests that support, and then this beautiful pop. So we're right at that level now. We're bouncing from there. That was the close from yesterday. So definitely worth watching and keep an eye on. Let's see how this volume continues to create, hopefully, a good and decent pre-market activity. But as we mentioned, guys, OSTK is one that everyone takes a very controlled amount of shares. Here we have next on this list, KMX.
I'm a little bit surprised on this overstock. A little bit of a bump this morning. Not seeing anything that's really that interesting news-wise. There's a couple of articles just about them getting hit and corporate changes, lower guidance, and talking about some, I believe, convertible notes that they're coming out with, but the fact that this opened gap down yesterday, tried to recover a little bit, and then essentially closed at the low on fairly decent volume gives me a little concern about this bounce. I don't have a high amount of confidence in this unless something comes out that we see that I haven't seen yet. So just giving my thoughts on this one.
No, I'm with you, Norm. Again, and just even with that said, the type of stock that it is, right? This is not your regular AMD or MU that moves very well. This thing can move very, very wild. Again, just look at the ATR on this is $3, and it's higher now because again it's a 14-day period. So between, let's say, here and here, probably was about $1.50 or so. But the last couple of days, we're going from 16 to 30, and then right back down to 16 now at 12. So that type of range and this type of stock, if they're not trading well, if they're choppy, it could just be a dangerous situation. Just be careful. Again, and the way to control this is don't trade it, find something else. Or if you do get your signal for your strategy, watch the number of shares you take. So next we have is KMX. Let's see what we got going on here on KMX. This is CarMax. We have traded this one before in the past. Daily chart, guy, is very choppy on this one, but when this in play, we have traded some good moves out of this ticker in the past. So today, Noam, they're up quite a bit, 3.9. What's the news on these guys today?
Yeah, so they released earnings this morning. They beat top and bottom line numbers, and the car sales have kind of peaked a little bit in the past, but they seem to be performing pretty well. When I looked at this earlier, one thing I noticed, we're coming right up on this high in the 91, 90, 92 range from late July. So this one piqued my interest early this morning, even when it had no volume, but now it's getting enough. It's coming up on the scanners. CarMax often doesn't have a lot of volume pre-market, typical NYSE stuff, but I'll definitely have this on my list today.
Yeah, definitely, as well. As you can see here, also breaking out of this prior resistance here as well, gapping up nicely. So that'll be good to watch this morning. Next, we have Snap. Snap has been trading pretty decent the last couple of days. Today, they're breaking out of this resistance that they were having over around 17. You can see how that has been resistance here, a couple of days here, and also a couple of days here. And Norm's dogs are agreeing with me. That's why you're getting the confirmation there. But you can see the nice little pop here today, so some good volume. So we'll see what we can get out of here. We have a previous high heading all the way up to 18 right in this area over here. So hopefully that could be a possible target. The one thing with Snap is when it doesn't get going, it can be very, very choppy. And you can see this by the daily chart. Some of these moves take a very long time to get going, but every time I have said that, we get moves like this right on here, and moves like this where again it moves, you know, quite a bit. So definitely worth watching just to see what we're going to get out of it. Norm, overall, what's the news on Snap? Is there anything going on or just regular trading?
Well, they've actually got a couple of upgrades in the last couple of days from analysts, which is part of what's sparking it. A little bit of it has to do with some issues at Facebook with Snap's own performance, you know, improving just a little bit. I will note that so this stock IPO'd, I believe it was March or April of 2017 for 2.5 years ago. I can't remember the IPO price to the penny, but it was either 17 or 17.50, somewhere in there. And it then opened that day, I believe, at around 23.50 or 24.
Yeah,
sold off precipitously since then, all the way down to about $5 or so in that area. And now we're sitting right back at the IPO price 2.5 years later. So even though it's later, maybe you've got some employees that were awarded stock a long time ago at the IPO price. Were stuck in it after their lockup period, weren't able to get rid of it. So this might be an area to keep an eye on, see what it does in this range.
Yeah, and actually, if you're going back, this is looking at our weekly. You can see how this level at 17.50ish or so has been an area where, and this is the weekly chart, guys. So you can see where we have had definitely some movement and volume increase around that time frame or that level. So yeah, let's definitely watch Snap. I think it's worth having it on our watch list. But if I find something better, I'll take it off. You just got to be careful because it doesn't move a lot. The ATR seems to be pretty small, and also it can be very choppy. Next we have PDD. PDD is down 2.9 this morning, 165,000 shares traded. We do have some okay volume, but not a great pre-market activity. The daily chart does look interesting though. It looks like we're getting a little toppy here around 35. I have not been able to go any higher, and we might be changing directions. We are losing a level of support right on here. You can see also here as well the last beginning of the September or so, and then we also have a moving average that we're losing on the daily as well. Again, not crazy activity on the pre-market, but we are seeing like if this thing wants to head lower. Any significant news on this? It's not going up or down too much, but just
they're doing a capital raise by means of a convertible debt offering. So when we say a secondary, that means they're offering more stock. These guys are doing a debt offering, but they're convertible notes, which are usually convertible to, some sort of class of shares. So it might not be the best trading thing ever. When I've traded PDD in the past, it's not been a great trade for me, but that doesn't mean it can't be.
Right. Well, you can tell by the candle as well. It doesn't look as clean. So we'll definitely see what happens here. All right, let's go over to our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. OSTK we have on our list. AMD. AMD is again just stuck within this range. Since when? Since when has AMD been in here? Probably mid-August looks like. Just really having a tough time getting out of this range here. And there's a smaller range within this range too, right? So you have this bigger range here, which is created by several days, and then now seems like we're kind of creating a smaller range starting from here between 31 and this looks like 29.50. So again, has not been trading very well. The few times that I put it on my list has been very choppy. Today we actually have more volume than we usually have seen on AMD, 519. So let's throw our old buddy down here for a while and see if that gets any better, but if not, we would take it off our list. Next, we have NBEV, usually not one that trades very well, guys. Very choppy, doesn't move much. And again, just not one that I keep on my list. You do have volume on this one, but again, look at this pre-market activity. Just not something that we want to be focused on. Next, we have PRTO, penny stock, so we'll skip this one. VOD is a horrible daily. Looks like a foreign stock. You can tell here this is not clean at all. Isn't that a phone company or something?
Yeah, it's a foreign phone company, Vodafone.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I think my company had these before when I used to work for them.
It's
All right, so
garbage.
yep, garbage. So we'll skip this. Roku here, guys. Roku, I'm definitely, as we spoke earlier, I'm having it on my list. Kept it there from yesterday. This is one that we're probably going to watch for the next couple of days because it's been really on a tear. I mean, just look at this. Look at this climb and then look at this drop. It's just unbelievable. So we'll see. We might see something like this where we have a couple of days where we might just go into a range, right? Marek was mentioning that as well to me. So that could be happening here also because you do have an area of support right around here. So I don't expect this to drop anymore. But again, who knows? As you guys know, my analysis is not great. Doesn't do good. NAKD is penny stock. We'll skip this. TVIX volatility index slightly down this morning. Not much going on there. GHSI also a penny stock, garbage. We'll skip this. Nasdaq ETF, guys, a little up this morning, about less than 0.5%. IPWR, no volume, and also if it did have volume, look at this nasty pre-market activity, and look at this even nastier chart. So just nasty all around. Let's not even look at this. REXN, another nasty chart here. We'll skip that one. Same thing with NVEV. SLRX, also crap. Cats, no love for cats. This is horrible. CHFS, also not looking great, guys. No volume here. CPAH, same situation, no volume. What else we have? AYTU, also one that we get quite often in this scanners here, but again, not looking great. And then last one, no, two more. OSTK we have. CLRB, also not looking great, no volume. So this is what we have. Norm, what do you like on your end this morning?
I like what we've gone through of those CarMax and Snap potentially, and of course Roku out of my top 4 has been in play pretty well the last few days. As far as others that I watch, Nvidia is back in this crazy wedge that it's been forming on the daily, but especially the weekly. If you look at a weekly on Nvidia, this wedge has essentially been going on since late last year when it started forming. With the top around high 180s, 190, and then the bottom has just been creeping up and holding. So I've said it before that I keep an eye on these, and I'm not going to predict what day it'll break out. Right now on the daily, it's right between the 9 and the 20. Maybe it's today, maybe it's next week. But it does look interesting that it might be ready for a breakout here at some point. So I'll be keeping my eye on that. Apple's just been hanging out in this 220 range. Really this pretty heavy consolidation, about $10 roughly below its all-time high set last fall. So same kind of deal on that. And then Facebook, that one also is sitting in that range. So those are 3 that I watch a lot, and maybe we'll get a breakout at some point. I'm not seeing any huge great catalyst to push them as of yet. But I'm still looking around as well, and I'll chime in if I see something that's not called out by somebody else.
Excellent, you got it. All right, guys, I see a lot of comments on NIO. Let's see what's going on with NIO. So NIO is bleeding here.
Garbage.
Bleeding to death, down 19.5. But this stock, guys, we banned this one from trading. It trades so bad. It's unbelievable. And now it's not even at a lower price. We're trading this when it was a little bit higher. Yeah, around here, around the 12, $9, $10 range. But then, yeah, this is getting into that dangerous territory. But this is a stock, guys, you want to be extra careful. It's kind of like probably worse than OSTK. A lot worse, so be extra cautious if you're going to trade this one today. 6.2 million shares traded so far. I do not have shares for short. It is on short selling restriction, and I also remember it was tough to get shares for short with a lot of brokers. A regular ATR is 18 cents. Today is obviously a little more than that, but again, just look at this daily candles. Look at this pre-market activity. So again, don't let the negative 19.5 and the 6.2 million shares traded so far, don't let that don't salivate over that, right? Let's focus on something that we can actually find good opportunities on. Yes, this looks great, this looks amazing, but if it doesn't give us good trading, it doesn't mean anything. All right, what else we have?
Get that garbage off your watch list, Carlos.
Yeah. You know what, Norm, you are the man. Let's get that out of here. All right, so DIS, Blake, that's excellent. So DIS, what do we have here? Disney is interesting. A nice little pop up here, 1.2. We don't have quite the volume yet, but that's okay. This stock tends not to have great pre-market activity and volume. But this looks interesting though. Has a nice pop over off 132, which has been prior support. So we're slightly above all this support area here, with what's the previous day close. Norm, any specific news on Disney? Anything you have come across?
I have not looked into Disney this morning
No,
just
no
because it
worries.
hadn't had enough volume to really qualify for me yet.
Yeah.
A lot of the moves on Disney recently, I mean, they've got some executive changes I think I heard about and such, but I think a lot of this is just kind of moving on the streaming war news that keeps coming out.
Yeah, so again, they've also been taking a hit over the last couple of days. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is a good possible, guys. Like Norm mentioned, doesn't have quite the volume just yet. Only 53,000 shares traded, but I do see what you're looking at here, which looks good. This little pop here, 1.3. If it can get going, it can head back up to this 136 area, where it has been kind of consolidating. A nasty daily chart, by the way, not the best, but it has been kind of consolidating between this 140 and this 136 area. You can see a clear support there was prior resistance. If you go back here, became support. So if it can get back above there, that'll be nice. What else we have? BB.
A lot of people are calling out Blackberry, yeah, and that actually looks pretty
my
interesting.
God. Wow, this looks very interesting. So down 14.2, guys. 1 million shares traded so far. Any news on this?
Yeah, so they reported earnings this morning, and they missed their revenues, lowered their guidance. I think their loss was wider than expected on the EPS front for last quarter. So yeah, it's getting hit pretty hard with that news.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, who still has a BlackBerry? It's just I don't get it. But anyways, this is dropping quite a bit, guys. Definitely worth watching. It's got some good volume. We have shares for sure as well. So yeah, definitely worth watching. We can get some good levels out of this one. All right. What else we have?
Yeah, so BlackBerry doesn't really. It's not the phone space anymore. They've gotten into services. They had a huge patent portfolio, amongst other things. So it's really transformed into a software company. I'm not saying it's a great company or they've done something revolutionary. I'm just, it's not the old handsets that we know them as. It's really a different kind of company.
Well, Joey Love here in our chat was screaming at me, saying, "Hey, I still use a BlackBerry. Sorry, man, my bad." So, all right, guys. So what else we have? We have let's go back. JBL. JBL has some activity here. 37,000 shares. Not a lot of volume. I like the pop. It's getting to the last area that it has resistance on here, but I'm not seeing a lot going on at the moment. Now, I don't recall how the pre-market is on this stock, if they get a lot of volume or not. It has had a couple of days, but again, the daily does look interesting though, because we're getting, is this all-time high, 32.65? It looks like it is, so that can make it a little more. Let me just check the weekly chart, guys, here. Yeah, it might be. Might be all-time high on JBL, so that makes it a slightly interesting. Oh, no. I'll take that back. We have some stuff here around 40. Oh, even higher. Yeah, so not all-time high, but again, still at least 52-week high seems like. Could be worth taking a look at it. But right now, the volume is pretty light on JBL. But I do like, we got, just now we're getting some activity. There we go. Oh, this just became very interesting. Yeah, we'll keep this right on here. It's going to be hitting our scanners anyway pretty soon with that volume, with that drop that just came in there, 75,000 shares. We just jumped up. I think somebody dropped 30,000 shares.
That was a trade right there.
Actually,
35,200.
35. So this is getting very active. All right. All right. What else we have? Apple, we looked at. AMD, we have on here as a possible. I'm probably not going to keep it. What else do we have? What else you guys have on your end? I think that's it. Dova, D-O-V-A. This one, what do we have on DOVA? Dova. Yeah, no volume, guys, on Dova right now. Again, an amazing day yesterday. Normally I wouldn't watch this type of stock. Just look at the way this is this daily chart. It's just very choppy. I don't like the way this is set up at all. But again, had a good day yesterday, but no volume at the moment. All right, guys, that is what we have. Norm, let's go over some news and then let's get into some levels. See what we have. Let me bring this up. Did I say news? Announcements. Yeah, did I say news? Yeah. Announcements. Here we go.
I'm sleepy this morning too. My son got up 6 times in the night, and the last time I didn't wake up, but I woke up this morning and rolled over, and it was my I thought my wife had shrunk by half.
I don't blame you, man.
Excuse me. I'm choking. Give me just a second. All right.
Take your time.
We got New York meetup picks yesterday, and we're downloading all of them. We should have them posted soon in some kind of format. We'll pick the best ones, throw them up to share for everybody. So, really great. Man. Next Lifetime webinar is this Thursday. Andrew and Brian will be there. Carlos, you're going to have to take over, buddy.
Yep, I got it, man. So let's go over to let's do the levels, then we'll leave the announcement for a second here.
All right, I'm back.
You're back, you sure?
yeah. Sorry, I was just choking and I couldn't speak. I apologize, everybody.
No worries.
Next Lifetime webinar is this Thursday, September 26th. It's going to be Andrew and Brian. Brian will be back from Europe. There is a forum post your questions. Go ahead and throw them in there. And they will get to that 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. DAS Trader is running their second #1 best trader competition. You can see the live leaderboard at onebesttrader.com. We've been honored to be nominated for the Benzinga FinTech Awards, People's Choice category under Best Financial Literacy Tool. If you enjoy our content, we would love your vote. It takes about 2 seconds. You can vote one time per day per device. And go directly there with the link AB will put up both in the room and on YouTube. Meetups, we've got St. Louis coming up October 19th. That's going to be with Kurt and William. San Diego, October 26th. Andrew will be there. And Clearwater Beach, Florida on November 16th. If you're watching us on YouTube and you have not tried out the room, we'd love to have you, test it out, see if it's for you. You can use the discount code PREMARKET24, get discounted access for 1 week. Does not auto-renew, does not change to another kind of membership. It's essentially very low risk. And then if you like the content we put out, we'd much appreciate thumbs up on the channel. It really helps out on the video. Thumbs up, and then subscribe, and you can hit the notification bell. And that will notify when we go live at the pre-market show, Williams Trade Reviews and such. Today is Tuesday, so he'll have his normal Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern trade review in the room, and he will stream it live over YouTube. And then we're very proud to be supporting Traders for a Cause. They support some really great charities, from breast cancer research to Muscular Dystrophy Association and such. So you can go to their site, Traders for a Cause, to see the exact charities that Traders for a Cause supports. But they've got their big event in October 12th, from VIP party to golf tournament, and then 2 days of a trading conference with some really well-known traders. Trying to figure out, we will have some BBT representation there. 1 or 2 of us will be there. So we'd love to see at that event. You can get tickets at a discount if you use the promo code BearbullVIP. You'll get $250 off your ticket. Thank you, guys.
All right, excellent.
I made it through. I didn't know if I was going to, Carlos.
Glad you did, man. Safe. All right, so we got a pretty decent list, guys. Let's go through it. So X on here right now doesn't have great volume, but this is a good possible because it has been very active the last couple of days. After this gap down, we had a great day yesterday on it, and also it's been trading pretty clean, which is hard to say for X because usually X can be extremely choppy. Yesterday we had a lot of chop overall. in the markets. But again, we still got several great moves, and actually I think even MU traded somewhat decent yesterday as well. So let's look at some levels here. Right now we're stuck between the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days plus the previous day close. Above this we have a nice moving average right on here. I'm going to mark this one down at 1164. As we know, guys, X doesn't move that much, so to get to 1164 it's going to take a lot of power to get above these 2 levels we have before where we get to 1164. Towards the bottom you have the low from 2 days ago right on here, and then below that, let's see if we can find something in between, because I don't expect this to drop like this, but we do have a very clean level right here at around 1050. So I think that's plenty for X. I don't think you're going to get a crazy move out of this stock, so we'll prepare if this thing decides to be active. Either way, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it on my list just yet, but we'll be ready for it with our levels. OSTK, this one is extremely active, 598,000 shares traded, but as we keep warning you, just be cautious of your share sizing here. High of your pre-market sitting at 1250. Above that, let's see if there's anything in between here, because we do have our highs and lows from the last from yesterday and the day before right on there around 1450ish look like, but we do need something in between here. So I'm going to go back around this July time frame, and we do have some about 1373. You have some areas of resistance right on there, so I'm going to mark that down because this move from where the price is at now and the high of the pre-market all the way to 14 is quite a bit. So we need something in between there. Below the price action, we have the previous day close, and let's go back actually right to this area also, that June-July time frame. Below that previous day close, we do have an area of some nice resistance right at 1041. Look at this beautiful resistance here, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 finally breaks out of it, and then usually when it breaks out of something that has been resistance for such a long period of time, you get the nice little pop, and as we see also comes back, retests that support, that prior resistance, and then this beautiful pop right over here. So 1041 I think will be a great one for OSTK this morning. It's got some good pre-market activity this morning as well. You can see beautiful pop here and starting to get a little bit better here with some volume. Roku, guys, one that we probably are going to watch for the next couple of days. It's just been so great to have on the watch list and so great to trade. Right now your high of your pre-market is sitting at 110.70, very close to the high of yesterday. So the high of yesterday is right above that. The low of the pre-market is sitting around 108, 108.71. So I'm going to mark that one down. Then below that you have the previous day close and the lows for the last 2 trading days. So I think that's plenty towards the bottom. But just actually, no, just in case, that's not plenty towards the bottom, because if we look at the history here, look at the drops we've been getting on Roku. I mean, look at these candles; they're massive. So again, this was what, $20 I think we dropped here on this day, so, or 30, whatever it was, 27. So let's be prepared. Below that, we do have this nice level here at 96. But I do expect if we do drop below the previous high from 2 days ago at 100, we're probably going to have some loss of momentum. So we'll see. Again, I think Roku is going to be stuck within this range here for a couple of days. It might do what it did before, where you had kind of like a resting period after 2 big drops. We might see something like this again for the next couple of days. I do not expect a huge bounce back up to the 130-ish. This stock has been beat up pretty bad. KMX, guys, this one is it's got some volume now, 144,000 shares traded. High of our pre-market at 91.34, so we'll mark that down. We do have a nice pop above that over at 91.98. The most recent high we have, probably the 52-week high. Yeah, it's the 52-week high on CarMax. I'm not sure if we're all-time high. I'm gonna check. We might be. Yeah, so I think we are at all-time high. Yeah, so that's all-time high right there, guys. 91.98. So that's gonna be exciting to see how we play around when we get close to that level. Towards the bottom, you have your low of your pre-market, very close to the highs of yesterday. So I'm not going to mark that down. It's already right on there for you. In between the price action, we do have a very nice level here at 89.46. You can clearly see how you have several days testing that level there at 89.46. And that's really all you have. Don't need to add any more towards the bottom, because in here you have plenty of levels. Look at this. It's been chopping around. You have the highs and lows. You have some moving averages. So again, don't need to add any more. And obviously above this is all-time high, so there's no more levels above that. Thank you. So Biagio says all-time high 92.01 to be exact on a CarMax. So I'm going to bring this up. There it is, quite a bit. All right. What else we have? Let's look at Snap. So Snap, guys, it broke out of this beautiful resistance it had over the last couple of days. Check out Williams' recap. He traded this nicely on this beautiful pop when it broke out of the resistance. The high of the pre-market at the moment sitting at a 1765, so we'll mark that down. Towards the bottom, guys, plenty of levels. You have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close, you have a moving average below all these levels creeping in as well, so you don't need to add any more there. Towards the top, you got 2 nice, very clean levels you can see from far away, 18 and 1833. All right, so mark those 2. I think that's plenty for Snap. PDD, guys, this one again doesn't look too active. It does have 185,000 shares traded. Let's put some levels on it just in case, but I don't see a lot happening. I might not keep this one for the final list. We do have 32.18 towards the bottom, another level right here around 31.22, and then a very clean one here also at 29.44. So let's mark that down as well. Towards the top, you got plenty. Previous day close, the highs from the last 2 trading days, right on here, and here. If you want, you can add another one all the way up here, which is a very clean level at 35, 80, 82 as well, in case we break out through all these levels. But I'm just not seeing that type of action on PDD today. I had AMD to see what's going on here. They do have 650,000 shares traded so far, which is a little higher than what they've been doing recently. But again, still on the daily, it's been stuck in this nasty range. So let's remove some of these levels here. We can add another level right up here at 31. Seems to be an area where they're having some problems getting above 31.30, and then over here this range 32. So again, nothing exciting just yet. I'm gonna watch it now to see how the action gets closer to 9:30, but it might not make my final list here. Again, it's just been so choppy. With that said, let's just take a peek over at MU, see what MU is up to. Again, MU also being stuck within this range. And I think they have earnings coming up, guys. I don't recall what day it is, but it's sometime this week. Norm had mentioned it earlier in the week.
Thursday.
Thursday? All right, so this is going to be interesting. Thursday, and the days coming up to Thursday, maybe tomorrow, we'll get something out of it. Looks like we're just kind of sitting and waiting around to see what the earnings is going to look like. So we'll definitely keep an eye on MU. Let's not lose focus on it to see what it does to the coming days. Here's some possible, guys. We got Disney on here. So Disney, it looks interesting. I think this could be a good possible to have on your secondary list. The high of the pre-market is 134.24. It might be breaking out of that pretty soon, but I'm going to mark that down because you also have several days, if you draw a line right on here, several days using that as support here, and here. So worth marking where the price action is right now, high of the pre-market. Above that, you do have a moving average at one above the price action now, but I'm not going to mark that down. It's way too close. I'd rather mark this one here on the daily, 135.42. You can see several days usually opening and closing around that area, and some even bouncing using that as support. So I think that's plenty for Disney. This will be a possible. I'm not going to have it on my main list just because the activity right now is not looking all that great. It is a nicey stock, so that could change as the morning opens up. And then towards the bottom, you got plenty, guys, highs and low. Previous day close. Don't need to add any more levels to this one here off the daily chart. Blackberry, guys, very interesting. I'm gonna move this one up. BB. Let's organize this list a little more. So AMD I'm bringing down because this is going to be a possible. Blackberry I do like, so I'm going to keep this one up here. Let's do some levels for Blackberry, and let's see what JBL is doing before I jump on Blackberry. JBL I'm going to remove. It's just I got way too many in this one. This could be interesting. Let's see. But Blackberry, guys, let's look at some levels here. So low of the pre-market right now, it is 636. Looks like we might be trying to break out of that. Above that, you have a look at this clean level. It doesn't get cleaner than that. 666, right? Comes right on there, boom, tested what, 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you get the pop. So you do want to have that level on your list. And then in between, above that level, between the previous day close and that current level, 666, you do have 692. Also, you can see the beautiful bounce on this level as well. The consolidation happening on several days at a 692. And then above, you have several moving averages. Also, another one on here as well. Now, these levels are very close. BB does not move a lot, but it is a lower price stock. And also, it is a very large company. It's not a low flow. So you can take a heavier size as long as, just keep managing your risk appropriately. Don't lose more than what you're set out as your risk on whatever that is for your account size. So if we go back down to the left here and we find some levels below that 635, looks like we're testing it right now as we speak. So it looks like we got a nice little drop right over here at 6. So $6, we have a nice drop here, and then finally we broke out, gapped up. So you want to have that on your list. All right, so I think Blackberry is looking very interesting on the daily, guys. Again, looks very weak this morning. 1.4 million shares traded. It is now 15.2. So this one's going to be very active at the open. AMD is a possible. Disney possible. JBL. JBL. I'm not going to watch JBL. I'm going to take off JBL for now. I think we have way too many. So just to recap, guys. So we have X here. X is a possible. I'm going to bring this one down. It has been trading well, but right now it's not looking too active. So let's take this one off. OSTK is very active at the moment. Again, manage your size up accordingly. Roku here I'm going to watch as well. This could be a good one to see how if it's going to break out, bounce back, or just consolidate. It's worth watching. CarMax I do like this morning, so we'll see what we get out of that one. It's got some good volume. Nice little pop, 3.5. Snap, guys, was interesting yesterday. It broke out of that resistance. It looks very active this morning. Chopping around a bit in the pre-market, but again, if it can break out at 1675, we do have some great levels we can get to. PDD, guys, not sure about this one. Well, we'll get together with Andrew. He's going to finalize his list now, but not looking too great now. And BB definitely active. Guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. See you guys tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time. Trade safe and take care, guys.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, YouTube. Thank you very much for coming and listening to our show. Let's find the watch list. So Roku is our buddy. Obviously, everyone knows why Roku is active. So has been really active and trades actually really well. So I'm going to put the Roku also in my watch list. Although there's no specific news coming right now from Roku, but when the stock or sector gets really active, just look at the volume is significantly higher. Look at the size of the candlesticks during the daily chart. It's getting higher. So definitely it's worth watching. Especially yesterday, I mean, except Roku, we didn't have really much of a mover. So look at the size of the candlesticks on daily chart and look at the volume, which is significantly higher than the normal volume during these days. So this is what we want. We want the stocks in play. So Roku is definitely in play. A stock from $180 is now at $100, so definitely fun to trade. MU is another stock that has been really active for a while, but it's just kind of stuck in this range. And as you see, this is a horrible range. I really don't know if remove our line. So it's very horrible. If it breaks down or breaks up, it's nice to trade. But right now, it's just in this got stuck in this choppy range. Yeah, I think it is this week. I think, isn't it, the earning for MU? So over than that, so OSTK. Let's see what OSTK is doing. OSTK is popped 7%. I do have shares for short. How much I have? I have a lot of shares for short. So removing all of these lines and see what levels do we have. So we had a big day yesterday. So we can definitely put this on my watch. KMX, CarMax is popping higher 4%. Not a lot of volume, but it's not bad either. So, yeah. So we do have two important levels here. So I'm just 92, and then we do have this 89. Yeah, it seems very interesting. So I'll look at the KMX as well. We did take a look at Snap. William, did you see William's recap? Really nice on Snap. Really nice trading, and I learned a lot because I wouldn't have taken that trade to the long side, but it was really nice from. So yeah, we can definitely take a look at the Snap. Roku, we already have that. PDB. Well, as you see, we traded PDD a lot, so it seems that it's really breaking out of this moving average. So PDD might be interesting for a trade. Not a lot of activity right now, but it could possibly be an interesting trade because it's capping down 2.3%. UNVR is gapping down. What's that one up to? 3.6%. On the daily chart, yeah, it's not bad actually. Half pre-market. What's the float on that? 168 million shares. Yeah, so I'll look into that for sure. They're offering, yeah. Usually the offerings are not really good for trading. So, but they're not that bad. But it's just not a crazy move that you're expecting. So Netflix is selling off really hard. Let's see what Netflix has in this down here. So we have this very important level down here. Yeah, so Netflix might be in play too. So we can definitely look at Netflix as well. So Roku, we'll definitely look at Roku. So for my watch list, let me see what others are watching. Norm is looking at KMX BB. What is BB up to? Oh, look at that. Blackberry. Oh, it's Blackberry. Blackberry is going down to garbage, huh? So unfortunately, Canadian company. So that's the level. Let's see what else do we have back there. Oh, look at that. We have two more levels back here. One right now sitting at a level around here. There is another one down here. And yeah, there's one also here. So yeah, well, Blackberry is also interesting. KMX, Snapthor is looking at those. Ayman is looking at KMX and Disney. Kurt is looking at KMX, Disney, Win. Let's take a look at the Disney and see what Disney is up to. Up 1.3%. Not a lot of volume on Disney. Yeah, it had a big day, but let me remove all these lines. Yeah, it's just not the greatest. Yeah, not the greatest market. So let me zoom in that. Roku is good. MU, although I hate it, but I'll get it. I'll put it in there. OSTK is good. KMX is definitely good. Snap is interesting. PDD is interesting. Universe is interesting. Netflix is also interesting. Well, I'll delete Disney. And I will delete. Let me see. PDD, Snap, KMX, and I delete Univer. Let me see how many shares I have for short. It's shortable. What about PDD? PDD as a shortable. So yeah, I put this one on my watch. AMD selling off hard too. Oh man, I don't want to add anything else into my watch list. AMD. Oh yeah. Is there a news or something on AMD? Is there Benzinga or something on? Yeah, that's a big drop on. That's a really big drop on AMD. Oh, it's a delay one, huh? So that's actually a really good one. Let's see if we can go short on it a little bit. Damn, I was going to go short and that pullback. All right, so on watch. AMD might be interesting. Roku, MU, OSTK, KMX, Snap, UniVR, BB, and AMD. Too many. All right, so putting everything on my different screens. So we have a couple of minutes. So we put Roku up here. We put MU up here. I am going to put KMX on that chart. I am going to put Snap on this chart. Snap for possible. The problem with the Snap is that you got to take big size on Snap. That's a challenge with Snap because the ATR isn't big. Netflix is over there. And I put BB on this chart. And yeah, AMD is over there. Low float garbage, IPWR. Yeah, kind of garbage. SNFCA, NBEV. Yeah, there's a lot of garbage. Yeah, so I'm using DAS for all of my charting. I don't really see any point to buy another software for charting. I know people do, but I really don't see a point to paying more for charting software. Well, if we had the Benzinga Squawk, we could have done that. Also, we are still on YouTube. Well, thank you very much, YouTube people. So I put my chart. For trading plan, I mean, AMD, I was thinking of going short AMD, but yeah, for trading plan, I mean, the first trade that we do is opening range. So I don't have any bias toward up and down about anyone's. I do like some of them more toward the upside or downside, depending on daily chart. But overall, our first strategy is opening ranges. And after opening ranges, you look for ABCD pattern or flags, or veg trading is also being very popular in our community recently. We got to wait for that. All right. Well, thank you very much on YouTube. I do hope that you can join us community at least for maybe a trial and see how it goes inside. And if not, we'll just keep seeing each other on YouTube, guys. So.